Alright, so before we get into today's video, let me address the elephant in the room. No, I'm not wearing contacts. But today is my birthday. Well, today is in the day I'm recording it, which is Wednesday. So I'm gonna make myself a nice little meal and bring you guys along for the ride because I feel like you guys should see this one. Alright, so today we're doing garlic parmesan, mashed potatoes, and a nice braised short rib. But no, so yeah, we're gonna just get started, get this going, because it is going to be a little time consuming. But you'll have a lot of free time on your hands, so yeah, we'll just get stuff going. Alright, so we're gonna start by flossing our meats, which basically means getting our stuff ready before we start cooking. Anyways, so you're gonna take 5 carrots, and you're going to make sure they're rinsed. Please make sure they're rinsed. And you're going to cut them into 4s and then cut them into about 1/2-inch pieces. If you want them smaller, you can have them smaller, but I like my carrots to be a decent size. So I was like, you know, just on the internet, and I saw this video of these people putting strawberries in vinegar, and like these bugs were coming up. 2-3 years ago, everyone was like preaching, yo, eat organic, and now like everywhere you go, they're like, be careful, there's bugs in the lettuce, there's tarantula like legs in your bananas. It's just like, oh my gosh, really guys? But yeah guys, rinse your vegetables, you know, that's the moral of the story. Rinse your stuff, you know. Once your carrots are done, you're just going to do a medium dice on 1/2 of an onion. Here I'm using a 4th because this onion is freaking massive, and a medium dice on an entire bell pepper. Now you can use green. Here I'm using yellow because I just didn't have green, but green would have added a little bit of extra color. All right, so now for our beef, you just want to take your short rib and coat each side in flour. This is going to help us develop a crust, which in this application we want. Now last time we did this, it was for ragu. Didn't really, you know, crust didn't really matter. But for this one, we want crust. So yeah, these are like pretty meaty pieces of short rib with the bone in. As you can see, I don't want to touch it with this hand because I have to stop recording on the camera. But yeah, these are pretty meaty pieces. If you can get these without the bone, then you have one extra side to get a nice crust on. For these, I'm gonna put flour on the bone side, but I'm not gonna really worry about the whole crust thing. Another benefit of getting boneless is that you don't have to deal with that like gristly. Oh, that's gross. I'm gonna have to like mop just that gristly like bottom part. You don't have to really worry about that. But for presentation purposes, and the fact that you're kind of getting that marrow out of the bone, I mean, it works, you know. So yeah, just things to consider. Alright, so all of our plus is minced. We're going to get a Dutch oven and get some oil. What the heck am I doing here? Oh, I'm probably testing the oil to see if it's hot. Okay, cool. So you're gonna get some oil in a Dutch oven, and you're gonna set your short ribs in the Dutch oven, and you just want to brown the outside. You don't want to cook it through. You just want to get a nice crust on the outside. This way, once it cooks, we have that crust, and then it's just completely tender on the inside. Also, this is going to help the thickening process of all of the juices and stuff once we put it in the braising liquid. It won't be like super thick, but it'll thicken up just a little bit. Alright, so once you've got a good browning on each side of your short rib, all we're gonna do is take them out and wipe out this Dutch oven. You don't want that dirty oil in there. That dirty oil is going to translate into the flavor of all the stuff. So yeah, wipe it out, make sure it's nice and clean. Then you're gonna do a fresh little coat of oil and add in your vegetables or your vegetas. Wait, no, that sounds like I'm saying fajitas. That's weird. Anyways, add your vegetables and you're gonna cook these until your onions become translucent. Once those onions get a little bit of translucentness, add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste
and kind of stir that in, make sure it kind of like, you know, coats your vegetables and stuff. And then we're going to deglaze with 1 cup of full-bodied red wine. Don't use that light stuff. You want something full-bodied, okay? Reduce that and make sure to kind of scrape the bottom, get the fond off the bottom of that pot. And then you're gonna re-add your short ribs and fill with beef stock until it just covers those short ribs. You don't want to add too much because then I don't know, you just don't add too much, right? Just cover. And then we're going to add a little bouquet of herbs. This has rosemary, thyme, and parsley, Italian parsley. And yeah, that's it. Bring that to a simmer, and once that gets to a simmer, you're gonna put it back in the oven. You're gonna put it in the oven at 350 for 2 to 2.5 hours. All right, so now that our braised short rib is in the oven, we're gonna get started on these potatoes. Fortunately, your boy didn't have his vegetable peeler. But anyways, you're gonna peel and cut your potatoes into even pieces and get these into cold water and put them on the heat so that they can start to boil. You want to start this from cold and let this heat up. This is going to help get all those starches out, because starchy potatoes make gummy potatoes. Once that starts boiling though, you're going to boil that until it is tender enough for you to stick a paring knife into and take right out. Now while that's boiling though, we're going to mince up 4 cloves of garlic and grate 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese. Now, for the garlic, honestly, I tried to do something, didn't really work. But yeah, grate your cheese, get your garlic ready, and that's pretty much like it. Like once you've gotten these 3 steps done, it's really nothing left to do. Alright, so our potatoes are done boiling. So now all that's left to do is to strain these bad boys, add our garlic, add our Parmesan, and get to mashing. So if you have a potato ricer, you can use that instead. But once it's all mashed, you're gonna add 3 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 cup of heavy cream, a tablespoon of oregano, salt and pepper to taste, and that is it. Your potatoes are done. All right, and that is it. That is braised short rib. Yeah, it's pretty easy, honestly. The worst part is waiting that entire time for this stuff to get to this state. So you basically, look at that, fork, tender. That beef, the red wine, and that, oh my gosh. It's just so good. And like, it falls apart. It is so, look, if you ever need to apologize to someone, make them this, okay? Because there's no way you can be mad at someone. Well, I mean, I guess unless you're like vegan or something. Yeah, if the person's vegetarian, don't do this. This might make it worse. Let me stop eating. Let me just stop eating for a second. But yeah, guys, if you make this, send me pictures. I want to see it. So we're gonna save one of these. There's one more video that I want to do with short rib. It's gonna be pretty cool, and then we'll be back on our streak of desserts, I guess we'll call it, because I feel like I've been doing a lot of desserts recently. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, like for more content, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.